So, have you ever stopped to wonder if the universe has its own hidden source code? Like an actual mathematical blueprint running quietly behind the scenes of our entire reality? Well, today, in this explainer, we're driving into a massive viral trend and connecting it back to one of history's absolute greatest minds. We are going to look at how the numbers 3, 6, and 9 actually bridge the gap between ancient cosmic theory and cutting-edge quantum physics.
Now, you've probably seen that whole viral 369 manifestation trend popping up on your feed. And if you're like me, you might have just completely dismissed it as some modern internet superstition. But here is where it gets crazy. This obsession, it didn't come from a random lifestyle guru. It came straight from Nikola Tesla. Yeah, the visionary engineer who literally built the foundation for the alternating current electricity that is powering your home right now. So you have to ask yourself, when a mind like Tesla's becomes obsessed with 3 specific digits, what exactly did he know that we don't?
The mystery of 369.
Okay, let's break down how this modern practice actually claims to attract the universe's energy. The basic idea is that you write down exactly what you want to achieve in a very specific numerical ratio throughout the day. So for example, you write it down at 6 a.m., 9 a.m., 3 p.m., and 6 p.m. The underlying belief here is that by aligning your intentions with these exact numbers, you are essentially programming the universe to work in your favor. I know what you're thinking. It sounds like pure magic, right? Maybe just wishful thinking. But to grasp the actual gravity of this, we really need to look at the science and the life of the man who first proposed that these numbers were supreme.
Part 2, Tesla versus Edison.
To understand why we shouldn't just brush off Tesla's theories, we've got to take a quick look in his legendary rivalry with Thomas Edison. The historical record basically paints his story of 2 wildly competing technologies. Edison built his massive empire on direct current, or DC electricity. But DC had a huge problem. It required local power plants in basically every single neighborhood because the power just couldn't travel far. Tesla, on the other hand, solved that long-distance problem with alternating current, or AC. Now, Edison didn't just accept defeat. He launched a ruthless, massive PR campaign to convince the public that Tesla's AC current was incredibly dangerous. He literally claimed it could wipe out humanity, all to protect his DC infrastructure. But despite that massive smear campaign, Tesla's technology was, at the end of the day, mathematically and physically superior.
What's wild is how Tesla actually bypassed the limitations of Edison's DC motor. He did it through pure geometry. While Edison was using a single coil, Tesla, who was heavily influenced by his belief in the fundamental math of the universe, designed his AC motor using exactly 3 coils. See, Tesla firmly believed that 3, 6, and 9 were not just regular numbers we use to count physical things. He believed they were numbers of higher dimensions, the literal numbers of energy itself. So by placing 3 coils, he unlocked electromagnetism in a way that made efficient AC power a reality. He basically proved his esoteric theory with practical, world-changing engineering.
Part 3, Evolution of Tech and AI.
And just as Tesla's AC current inevitably made all of Edison's DC factories completely obsolete and forced the world to adapt, we are living through a very similar technological earthquake today. Innovation always forces adaptation. The source material points out that the World Economic Forum predicts a staggering 92 million jobs will disappear by 2030 due to technological shifts. To put that into perspective, the IMF notes that 40% of current jobs could be directly replaced by artificial intelligence. So just like that massive transition from DC to AC power, the old ways we work are rapidly becoming irrelevant.
But listen, this evolution isn't just about jobs disappearing. It's about massive, rapid creation. While the old jobs vanish, an estimated 170 million new AI-related jobs are going to be created globally. Organizations like Needi.io are even predicting 4 million new tech jobs in India alone. The defining skills for this entirely new era? We're talking data science, Python, SQL, and machine learning. And the best part is, adapting doesn't actually require a traditional coding background anymore. The sources highlight how structured programs, like this comprehensive 5-month data science course by HCL and IITM Pravartik, are specifically designed to teach these exact skills from scratch and literally plug learners straight into extensive hiring networks. The main takeaway here: those who actively evolve with the tech are the ones who remain relevant.
Part 4, Classical versus Quantum Physics.
Okay, let's zoom back out from modern tech for a second and look at the actual fabric of reality. This is where we start to see exactly why Tesla was so obsessed with 3, 6, and 9. For the longest time, science was totally dominated by classical physics, pushed by brilliant guys like Isaac Newton.
Classical physics basically viewed the universe as a giant, closed mechanical box. The idea was, if you knew the current position and trajectory of every single particle in existence, you could theoretically predict the entire future. They called this Laplace's demon. It suggested a purely predetermined universe, which effectively means no free will. Every action you take is just a mechanical reaction to a past event. But then, scientists started looking a little bit closer and things got incredibly weird.
Enter quantum physics and the famous double-slit experiment. When scientists actually looked at particles at their absolute smallest, subatomic levels, the rigid rules of classical physics just completely fell apart. They found out that particles don't actually exist as tiny solid balls of matter. No, they exist as waves of probability. And here's the kicker. They only collapse into a specific, solid location when someone or something is observing them. Think of it literally like playing a video game, like PUBG. The entire map of Pachinki doesn't actually render and load into your device's memory as solid buildings until your character parachutes in and looks at it, right? To save processing power, the unobserved game world remains as raw code, while our universe appears to act the exact same way. Without an observer, the universe just remains freely moving energy waves.
This observer effect totally shattered that old, rigid mechanical worldview. And it really brings to mind Albert Einstein's revolutionary equation, E equals mc squared, which mathematically proved that mass and energy are entirely interchangeable. Matter, meaning the stuff making up you, me, and the screen you're looking at right now, is essentially just frozen energy. This quantum perspective completely dissolves that tired old science versus God debate. Great minds like Einstein didn't view God as some person up in the clouds. They saw the incredibly complex, energetic universe itself as the divine force. We are, quite literally, the universe experiencing itself as frozen energy.
Part 5. The math of the universe. Now, while physicists like Einstein wanted to know what the universe fundamentally was, Tesla, the engineer, wanted to know how the creator actually built it. So he started looking at patterns of binary evolution. This is the way cells divide and biological life grows. 1 becomes 2, 2 becomes 4, then 8, 16, 32, and so on. Now, if you take those numbers and find their digital root, which basically just means adding the digits together until you get a single number, a shockingly consistent pattern emerges. 16 becomes 7, 32 becomes 5, 64, 6 plus 4 is 10, 1 plus 0 is 1. If you track this infinitely, the pattern just repeats 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5 over and over again. But do you notice what is entirely missing from that mathematical code of physical evolution? The numbers 3, 6, and 9. Tesla concluded that these numbers must exist completely outside the physical realm. They are the invisible blueprint directing the physical world.
But Tesla definitely didn't stop there. He realized that among those 3 special numbers, the number 9 is mathematically supreme. Check this out. If you take the number 9 and multiply it by absolutely any number in existence, and then find its digital root, it will always return to 9. 9 times 8 is 72. 7 plus 2 is 9. 9 times 11 is 99. 9 plus 9 is 18. And 1 plus 8 is 9. No matter how massively large the number gets, the energy always anchors right back to 9. Tesla viewed 9 as the ultimate symbol of enlightenment. It was like a higher dimensional anchor point that the rest of our reality just revolves around.
And this mathematical code extends directly into physical geometry and physics too. For instance, the sum of the angles of an equilateral triangle is 180 degrees, but its central internal angles from a point to the vertices are 120 degrees. 1 plus 2 plus 0 equals 3. A circle has 360 degrees. 3 plus 6 plus 0 equals 9. Even the speed of light itself is roughly 3 times 10 to the power of 8 meters per second. From those 120-degree angles in his revolutionary 3-coil AC motor to the very geometric fabric of space and the speed of light itself, Tesla clearly saw a universe deeply, mathematically rooted in 3, 6, and 9.
Part 6.
Tesla's final truth.
Armed with this profound understanding of cosmic engineering, Tesla actually wanted to build a colossal wireless tower. His goal was to transmit free, limitless electricity and communication to the entire globe. But sadly, he was totally misunderstood by the powerful financiers of his era, who couldn't figure out how to put a meter on free energy. So they stripped him of his funding. Tesla ended up living out his final days increasingly isolated in a hotel. And because the world completely rejected his macro inventions, he turned all that deep mathematical understanding inwards, adopting rigorous, almost obsessive daily rituals. He meticulously avoided numbers outside his 3, 6, 9 pattern. He would notoriously order exactly 18 napkins a dinner every single night because 1 plus 8 equals his supreme number, 9.
When he walked, he compulsively counted his steps to make sure the total was perfectly divisible by 3. History books often brush this off as him just descending into madness, but to Tesla, he was simply keeping himself aligned with the fundamental frequency of the Creator's code.
So as we wrap up this explainer, let's just take a step back. Look at the totally bizarre observer effect of quantum physics, where reality literally only loads when we look at it. And then combine that with Tesla's absolute lifelong obsession with this supreme mathematical geometry. It really leaves us with one powerful lingering thought. Are we simply avatars walking around in a mathematically coded universe, one governed by the invisible blueprint of 3, 6, and 9, that we are only just beginning to truly render and understand? I'll let you think about that one.